The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
A man, is it the power in his hands? Is it his quest for glory? Give it all you got to fight to the top, so we can know your story. Now you're a man, a man, man, man. Now you're a man, a mounty, mounty, mount, a man, man, man. You are now a man, you're a man. Now you're a male. Live it, live it. What makes a man? Is it the woman in his arms? Just 'cause she has big titties? Or is it the way he fights every day? No, it's probably the titties. Now you're a male. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh. Now you're a male, male. Male, 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 male. Now you're a male. M-A-N, man, 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 man. Now you're a male.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the men's room. I'm your host, the Appalachian American. With me, as always, is my right-hand man, Superfan Adam Shawhan.
That's right, boys and girls. Samantha playing along with Frank and the Wiener Dog Clan are here on the men's room to have fun. Tomorrow, I get to meet Mean Chung. I can't wait.
Dude, that's awesome. Who's he again? What does he do?
From Comic Book Man, Kevin Smith's Comic Book Man. He's a little Asian fella that actually went to school here locally. About I think he was a year behind me.
Okay.
So, and I went to Adams. He went to Clay. I know I'd seen him before, like legitimately in the 90s. It's something from the schools, but yeah, it's just one of those where I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But yeah, he's one of the people that are going to be there. The main actor from Napoleon Dynamite's going to be there, and I don't remember who else.
Oh, cool.
That's that local one like I went to last September before Horror Hound.
Right.
And I met Adrian Paul and yeah, Sam Flash Gordon, baby.
Right.
Thanks,
Well, tonight we're a little on the light side. Tommy's on his way in. He's going racing tomorrow, so stick tuned to the channel for some pretty cool stuff that he's going to be posting. Not
to mention Late Lape.
Yeah, Late Lape's always late, so there's really nothing there.
Nothing new there.
Yeah, he's always late, so I don't even worry about it. But what have you been up to?
Well, give me a second. We should change his name to permanently Lape is Late Anus.
Lape is Late Anus.
Yeah. Lape is Late Anus. I think that should be the new theme. And then all right, well, there we go. And yeah, as for I haven't really been doing a whole lot this week. It's been the usual, not much from last week. Had hoped to go see the movie, but it wasn't in the plans for me, unfortunately, the last 2 days of winter. I am going next Friday, I know for sure, but I'm going to try to get in this week and see it.
Nano Reaper dropped by, said hopefully he's not as big as a douche as Kevin Smith. Raquel stopped in and said, hey guys, what's up?
Hell yeah.
I'm posting. We are live.
Nope, I'm doing that old person stuff that's fun, fighting to stay alive, trying to get the prescriptions that I need that the insurance companies don't want to pay for stupid reasons, and there's nobody you can call about that, so you're just screwed.
That is kind of annoying.
Mm-hmm. My HMO, basically caseworker for the federal part, is working to try to help me with the state part because Idiot Anna has some idiots in it, especially running Indiana. And they've made stuff so bad that even she got confused and upset. Because you know me, dude, I just start dropping F-bombs, especially when you're talking about, according to your doctor, I don't need my insulin supplies to stay alive for 38 years being on insulin. Yeah. And by you playing this game, they don't want to pay their little portion, which is my Part B. They're my secondary insurance. They're not even my primary, for F's sake.
That sucks.
Yeah, so the order I placed in January, I never got, and we're in March.
Right.
Now, luckily, I'm not out like they think I'm out, but I'm not. But you still, eventually my backstop will run out if I can't get this taken care of. And it's situations like this when an insurance company says, we will give you a box a month. Well, what happens if you exceed that box because of stupid shit like this? So that's the kind of stuff I've been dealing with. Which worst case, I just pay out of pocket whatever the Part B insurance would be, which is usually like $50-$60. Woo! I think my life's worth definitely spending $50-$60 on it to stay alive, eh?
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So that's the worst case there scenario if I have to. The state said I needed to go through a provider in Indiana, which there aren't any, and then the provider they said that they have doesn't take the state's insurance. Welcome to Indiana. This isn't a skit, folks. This is real life. This is no joke. So yeah, that stuff, and then Thursday, I thought about, hey, maybe I'll try to make the movie, but it just didn't happen. I worked out and everything. By the time I got done with working out, eating again, I was just too damn tired. And then today, I just had too much going on with going and seeing my mom and my pops and, some other stuff I had to do. But yeah, which is no big deal because I knew for a fact Tommy wasn't going to go see the movie.
Actually, he called me last night while I had stepped out of the theater to take a tinkle, and he called me and was like, "Hey man, what time are you gonna go see Batman?" I was like, "I'm here now. Like it started like 30 minutes ago."
Right.
I went during the one of the last preview for that Harry Potter prequel thing, something of the universe or whatever.
Right.
I don't know what it's called, but anyway, and he was like, "Oh, dang, that sucks. I was going to come." Well, you should have told me.
He's a little late on everything, isn't he?
Yep.
Okay. I just thought maybe it was me, but...
Yeah.
I gotcha. Oh, well. Could be worse. Could be late for dinner.
He could be late.
Could be late his anus. This is true. This is very true. But yeah, other than that, like I said, was going to go see the movie. That didn't quite work out. And last 2 days, I just couldn't get it to... I got the money to go. I'm healthy enough to go. I just haven't been able to get it done. That's what she said. But yeah, man, I mean, other than that, I'm still looking forward to it. I'd been looking forward to it. It's one of the movies... last movie I saw was Bad Boys 3 in theaters. You tell him. See, she's saying that's awful. See, nobody should have to see Bad Boys 3 as their last movie. Nobody. So, yeah, I'm excited to see the Batman, even though there's no Joker in it.
Well, yeah, there's not a whole lot we can say without being spoilerific.
Right.
I
hadn't even seen the first one or two trailers. God. I saw like the first and second one, maybe. I know there was another one, 2 or 3 that came out, maybe.
I never saw the last one.
Yeah. Okay, so there was 3 total, right?
Yeah.
So I saw the first one, and I never even really paid that much attention to the second one. So it was on, but I don't remember it. Stop it. And then, yeah, and I didn't see the third one, and I still wanted to see it. So I still do. But, I mean, it's just opening weekend. Hell, Spider-Man's still playing. I haven't seen that. I
Dude,
might
yeah,
go
mine too.
spend a day at the theater.
Have you still not seen Spider-Man yet?
Nope.
Dang.
But that's my game plan.
That's such a good
spend
movie.
a day at the theater.
I had a buddy of mine that didn't really like Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, Jackass, and of course, Batman. Sounds like a good Saturday, Sunday thing to do.
Yeah, dude, I want to see Jackass.
I've seen all the other ones in the theaters. I've seen the TV series. You know, I never saw all the episodes, but I seen enough of it back in the day, even before it was on MTV. I can't remember what it was, but this is who's making all that racket.
Oh, little buddy.
Yup. She's like, this is BS. Where's my lovin's? Where's my TV? I don't have no TV to watch. No.
Daddy put the TV on.
You know, it's a big baby. But yeah, well, she's the only one still awake. But you know, it always used to be going to the movies was a thing. You know, it was you'd go and have fun, or you'd go on your dates, or and then you get older and you're married, you go with the wife and the kids and all that stuff. And the last movie that her and I saw together, I think, was the last anniversary for the Fast and the Furious movie. That was the last one that we went to the theater together to see.
Gotcha.
You know, because between work and then there'd be something that she might want to see, but I definitely didn't want to see. And I'm not going to go see the shit that's been married 14 years, so no. I've earned the right to say I don't want to see that. Just like I know she don't really care, if for the action movies and stuff, the Marvel movies and whatnot. So, and oddly enough, you want to take a wild guess what the first movie her and I ever saw together was?
What?
Bad Santa. The unrated version on the DVD player in my car. That was the first movie we watched, and it all started when we worked, because we worked together and we became friends and whatnot. And we talked about going to the movies, and they were like, man, it's going to be a nightmare with all the kids. I'm like, yeah, no shit. But we ended up just her and I going, I want to say 3 or 4 years later, like we finally were able to go to the movies, just her and I, no kids, no nothing.
Lape is here, finally.
Yeah, I know.
Late is 8
it working?
Late.
Am I working?
What's up, man? Yeah,
hey, working.
We're talking about movies. What's the last movie you saw in theaters?
The Rise of Skywalker.
Nice.
With the WCBS crew.
Hey, there's the man.
And the best thing about the movie was Dion Green.
Almost getting kicked out.
Nah. Hey, he was laughing. No, there were a couple times he made comments, and the auditorium laughed at his comments.
Oh, of course.
I thought he was saying he was worried that he was about to get kicked out.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't sit with them.
Oh, okay.
We had, Jeff was able to get, he had to get 6 tickets, and their lawyer sat with him, and I sat somewhere else. But there were times, man, I think the audience probably fell asleep. I mean, there'd be things, and it'd be a joke. There wouldn't even be a whimper, nothing.
Yeah.
And when it was a packed theater, and it was over, it was quieter than a golf clap. Like there were like 6 people that went, yeah, and that was it. People walked out like they were leaving a funeral.
Yeah, that movie sucked.
When I first watched it, it was in Spanish, which I don't speak. The movie that I saw and put in my brain was better than what Disney had made.
How did you manage to see it in Spanish?
Because some of the first allegedly rips for the movie were in Espanol.
Oh, Sailing the Seas. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And allegedly. And so I had no idea what they were speaking, because all I hear when Spanish is being spoken is taco, 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 burrito, chalupa, loquito, Taco Bell. So.
Nice.
So, but I mean, seriously though, like, watch if there's something coming out just for fun. Watch it in a language you don't know, because then you yourself have to make the commentary, and everything. And
I've been watching
Super
Super Sentai lately, and it's all in Japanese, but it's English subtitles.
Right? Yeah, sub not
It's
dubbed.
very weird.
Oh yeah. So yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But it's literally like, but don't read the English, and you just make up the stuff in your own mind. My story was way better than the crap we got.
Hey, Oiler Greg, what's up, man? I see you in the chat. Tommy, what is the last movie you've seen in theaters?
Last movie I saw in theaters, we just went more recently. Let me see. We went to the Addams Family.
Wasn't that like the second one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we were going to go see Spider-Man in theaters after it was out for a while. But my middle son wanted to go see it, but my daughter didn't. So that's when we went to go see the second one. The Hotel No, we watched Hotel Transylvania 2, I think.
Dude, Hotel Transylvania is a great. I love them. The most recent one kind of sucks.
Now I will say the new Sing was good in theaters.
Dude, yes. Miss Crawley is my favorite.
Mm-hmm. Especially when she just like rides off the road.
Yep, she's rocking out to that System of a Down song.
Yep,
that was pretty good. Huh. I think there for a while, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker was the last one I saw. And then I'm pretty sure I went to go see Fast and the Furious was the first movie I'd seen since then.
Yeah.
Let's look, because I don't know. I mean, I know I went to see... I don't remember when the Suicide Squad opened.
You went to go see Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, but that was in December. Fast and Furious 9 release. When did that come out? That came out in May. So yeah, I mean, I saw that in May. And then I think that was the most recent. I don't think we saw a single movie in theaters in 2020.
Yeah, like I said, the last one I seen was, because before that it was Rise of Skywalker, and my youngest brother and I went to see that, and then both my younger brothers and myself went and saw the Will Smith one. So
what, Gemini?
No, Bad Boys 3, dude.
Oh, I never watched Bad Boys 3.
I've got it. I haven't watched it because I haven't had time.
My biggest complaint, Seth, is the same as I always have with movies. Like, F your subtitles. Like, you speak English. We know you speak English. I'm an English watching viewer with visual issues. I don't want to read as I'm watching the movie. And there's a lot of it that was all I heard was taco, 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 burrito, chalupa. Go the Whites.
Well, I live in a household where we watch movies late at night because the kids are asleep. So most of the times subtitles are on and the volume is low. So,
yeah, but I'm talking about, like, I don't want to go to the movie theater and have to read something, especially when 2 seconds ago you were speaking English.
Well, I mean, what was the context of them speaking in Spanish?
I can't tell you because I can't see to read the subtitles.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying, like, were they talking to like a gang or something, and that's why they had to?
No, it would literally, like, they'd be taught. It'd be you can't speak my language, so burrito, burrito, or all of a sudden out of nowhere they were speaking English and they talked to another person that's in a different language. Said like Spanish, where you could just play it in English, like the old Japanese movies where their mouths would keep moving but they'd stop talking.
Dubs.
Yep. But these days, most everybody, English is supposed to be the primary language. And if you're playing it in the U.S., I don't need this shit. I want that option where they just talk. And I don't have to deal with the subtitles.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to find stuff on the Batman movie, the new one. Is there a big secret or a big spoiler they're not trying to let people know?
We don't know, but we're not really talking the Batman movie because nobody here saw it but Seth.
Well, I'm just
I know,
asking.
I hate it.
Every time I looked
Wayne was
at it-
supposed to get on, and that we were supposed to do Batman conversation tonight, but something came up last minute and he can't come. So now I've got all this super cool stuff set up saying that we're going to talk about Batman and no Batman. So.
Well, that's why I was curious because every time I look something up, there's like, don't spoil it.
I don't
Just
know
answer your own question, Tommy.
I don't know of anything that was like super spoilerific.
Okay, so I don't know if that's just like a thing, so they're trying to get more views, well, people more to go look at it, watch it.
The only thing that's spoilerific in this, I'm not going to give away the who's at it, but I'm going to tell you like the context of it. We all know Batman characters, Carmine Falcone.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody goes around talking about there's two different stories of how Thomas Wayne and Martha died.
Right.
And they bounce back and forth, and you kind of really never understand why or who did it.
Right.
And they finally nail it down and tell you who did it.
Okay, well, so that was it.
That's probably why. Now, and see, here's another thing. They never really nail it down to who did it. The answer you're given is by Alfred, and he says probably.
Right.
So that's literally the only spoiler I can think of being. There's really nothing else that's a spoiler. So I will say there is a line in it that's getting people pretty pissed off. Catwoman says the whole situation takes place around a nightclub, and Catwoman drops a line that says all these rich white privileged buttholes, and it's like that line broke me from the movie to be like, really, that was pointless. Like, why'd you say that?
Sounds about right, though, because it's the rich elite, and generally the rich elite are white assholes in Gotham, though.
I mean, I understand that, and that's not. I don't think. I think the part that brought it out was the like white privilege. If you had just said the rich privileged, yeah. I think that would have went over. But white privilege broke you away to be like, all right, you gonna slap me in the face with some more politics here?
Well, of course, because it's got to be in everything, even though it should be getting towards the end of this crap in our movies. Because again, now the focus is going to be on the war, guys. That's where everything's going.
Yeah.
Just face it. That's
apparently
so
apparently Alex Jones said that we're going to be in war by February.
Yeah.
He said it in October.
October.
Well, you know
October
what? He said it long before he did on a different channel, where that's where we all felt we were headed. So we were up on that motherfucker for 2 years.
What did he say?
He said that back in October, what his insiders were telling him is that the Russia would invade Ukraine in February. Because basically, once the ground had thawed a bit and it wasn't so boggy, they would be going in late February. This is why I named myself Obama's War. This is Obama's war. They overthrew a legitimate government of Ukraine under Obama's administration to put in a more West-leaning, NATO-friendly government. And we are doing essentially the reverse of the Cuban Missile Crisis, where we're knocking on their frontier, and they finally just, the globalists told Putin to act a certain way, and he finally had enough. Just like what's his name in China, No, we're not doing the one child only policy anymore. We're not going to sissify our men. We're not going to let all your cultural Marxism come into our country. And so now these two are on the bad list because they won't listen to their handlers anymore. So this is the third term of the Obama administration, and this was the war that Hillary was supposed to get us into, but unfortunately, she lost the election. Unfortunately for them.
Yeah, right. Yeah. They're only off by 4 years.
So
it's all right. They just waited and they said, "Well, how can we guarantee Trump doesn't get reelected? Well, we'll release a virus, and then we'll put out a vaccine to kill people, and then we'll blame it all on him."
Now we got to be careful about what we're saying because YouTube, all the big tech stuff, they're nuking everybody left and right over what this is. But
yeah, I mean,
somebody
the whole thing go back to like the 5th century. I mean, this is
right. But here's the thing: there's a lot of people talking about biochemical labs in Ukraine.
Yeah, you mean all the ones that got destroyed? Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of conflicting information of whether they were captured or destroyed, and I've also seen conflicting information on who owns them. Right? Are they Western backed? Are they not? Are they? It's.
Well, what about
again? I don't believe anybody. I just sit here and listen, and then believe no one.
See, that's me. That's me. I keep hearing the news, and all they want to talk about is all this stuff. But at the same time, like, we just spent 4 years listening to the news tell lies and all kinds of stuff. So we're just supposed to believe them right now?
Well 4 years. They've been lying for decades. Walter Cronkite lied every night, and no one caught on. Well, let me rephrase that to be accurate. Walter Cronkite said what was on the teleprompter, which was lies, but he didn't. I don't know if he necessarily knew. Go ahead, Tommy. Keep cutting.
Oh, you're fine. Have y'all heard about the ghost? The Ukraine ghost?
Yeah.
Fake
That's
news.
from a video game. That's not real.
Well, there's a lot of memes going around. Yeah, there's some woman that supposedly again, there's a lot of misinformation. And there we go. The dogs go again. They start barking. I don't know. They keep running out of here. Like my wife's out of town with her sister.
Oh, we know why they're running.
Yeah, and so they're like, "Oh, mom's home, mom's." And it's like, no, she's not coming home till Monday. So there's a lot of misinformation. This is again why I just somewhere in the calmness of the chaos is the truth, right? So you have both sides yakety yakety yakety, and it's like I don't believe either of them, and you got to just kind of wade through and this is, whether this will escalate into something bigger, I don't know. Biden's surely fanning the flames, but somehow we're still buying oil from Russia. We won't reopen our pipelines that were almost completed. There's all kinds of nonsense. Oh, we need to rely on, renewable energy instead of fossil fuels. And it's like, oil is not a fossil fuel.
There's what this is all about. We're still in the Middle East, guys. We're still fighting a fucking oil war.
It is. But see, we have enough in our own territories that we don't need to. But again, we allowed multiple, oil companies become these multinational conglomerates. We allowed the general, the government, whether on purpose or not, immaterial. I don't care if it was a conspiracy. I don't care if it was an accident. It is. We have this world oil market that we all have to put our oil into, which I think is bogus. If we want to sell our oil in country, we shouldn't have to worry about the, international markets.
Lave, what do you think about that comment from Coleman Domingo?
Well, 2 years ago, several scientists in Japan looked at the beer bug and realized that there were Moderna held patents on the DNA structures. At least 3. It's not come out that it's more than 3. So it's old news. It's now been verified. CDC has released information on it. The Pfizer stuff has come out about it. And so, there's basically Putin was backed into my opinion, Putin was backed into a corner and finally decided, I'm going to stand up for my country. They don't want, this is why the Soviets invaded these countries to begin with. They wanted a buffer between them and the West because of several hundred years of invasions from Europe, right? Napoleon invaded. There were incursions on their border by the Prussians. The Poles pushed into some of those territories. The Ukraine that area is where Russia started. Kiev was the capital of Russia for a long time, and eventually they were pushed out. There was invasions of different. Europe has just been this battleground back and forth. I mean, you had the Gaelic people, the Gauls in what is now France and Germany. The Romans invade, the Romans leave, the Franks invade. The Franks are, French. The Franks is a Germanic tribe that leans its name to the country and the language, even though that's not the language you speak.
Right.
So it's, in my view, I bet if we could look at a full history of 2000 BC, where we only have bits and pieces and we kind of put together, there was this empire over here and there was this empire over here. It's the same crap. It was in the Fertile Crescent, and they hadn't pushed into the wilderness of Europe yet much. But you go back to Iron Age times, or even that, even a Bronze Age, or late Stone Age. Even we get tribal warfare, and that's all it really is. It's just people, as long as there are people who believe they're supposed to be in charge of someone else, we're going to have this. I don't care if it's an individual, a tribe, a state, a nation, and that's
I think it's the NGW, man. It's the new green world, order. Well,
it's the same old BS with a fresh coat of paint.
Global warming.
You look underneath it, and you go back 1,000 years, and there's this group over here and this group over here, and the leader of this group convinces enough of his people that those people are the reason why we have a problem. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Attila the Hun believed he was Alexander the Great, believed he was God's gift to the world to conquer the world. Well, before him, the Babylonians, the Assyrians, the Sumerians, the Egyptians. It's just, no matter how far back you can go, there's always some clown who believes he's the God, a God's gift to mankind, and grab your sword, we're going to fight. And unfortunately, there were enough morons that followed him.
Yep, and nowadays they're wrapping it up in this crap where it's because we want to make the world more green, we're going to make gas prices go through the roof, even though there's no reason for any of it.
If anybody was actually to research it, you pollute the earth more by making batteries than you do getting fossil fuel.
It doesn't. Yeah. Well, the truth doesn't matter, Tommy.
Yeah.
Science is immaterial. I mean, this whole thing with taking carbon out of the atmosphere is an absolutely horrendous idea. Scientifically, it is absolutely 100% 180 degrees from what reality is. Yeah. Carbon dioxide.
It's retard, boys and girls.
Carbon dioxide is plant food. Pure and simple. Without carbon dioxide, we all die. The plants all die. We all die.
But Lape, again, look at the people that we have that think that they don't know what bathrooms to use, or they're offended for somebody else that's not even offended.
The funny part is
now we went from the branch Covidians and the masks. Now it's the same group pointing at this is 1984. This is literally, we are seeing the I forget what part of the book it's in, but there's a part where the leader they're in at war. Granted, it's been 35 years since I've read the book. Maybe I should read it again, but they're at war with one group, and the guy's speaking, and they're all there to support. And in mid speech, he's given a note saying we've done peace with this group and we're at war with this group, and he switches the things around, and people in the audience are looking around, and then the signs they brought, they're convinced were brought by spies of this other group, and they start tearing their own signs. This is exactly what we're seeing.
Oh yeah.
Right now it's Russia, and then when it's not Russia, it's going to be something else. It's going to be, and these people are so programmed to follow, this stupidity that, okay, you're not wearing a mask, you must hate grandma. Oh, you won't get your shot, you must hate grandma. You must be a Russian spy. I'm getting pinged.
Yeah, that was me.
Okay.
I think. This is pretty funny. That's why I love the Babylon Bee. Russia's removed from the Apple Maps.
Is that the Babylon Bee?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I thought it was real because it's not. Well, the guy had the conductor in Germany who got fired because of some mayor, some leftist mayor. But see, this again, the leftist wackos, not what we used to call the liberals. That they're all standing around going, "Where did my movement go?" Right? They're all Marxist. Basically, it's all Marxism. And Marx was not a smart person. He was a complete moron, and he got everything wrong. Everything.
Somebody commented in the comment section, said if he keeps firing on nuclear power plants, this could become a reality.
Yeah, but
excommunication nation.
Yeah, but it's the whole point is to get us all fighting each other and looking at each other.
So
right, and people are falling for it.
Who's in? Do you think it's the NATO is the one controlling stuff?
No, NATO is the pawn.
Okay.
There's only a handful of actual kings, and they are in charge of the people who are in charge of the World Economic Forum.
Oh, so it's the war kings, basically.
Yeah, they're the and I don't know who they are. My opinion, Klaus Schwab is just one of their pawns because his book about the beer flu and the Great Reset is full of all this Marxist nonsense. It's like what he predicted in that book in 2020 to happen, and people, what was supposed to happen, it's the exact opposite of what happened. People, when you look at the Statue of Liberty and what it says on that placard, give me your tired, yearning to be free. That is the natural state of humans, is for liberty and freedom. It's not for equity. It's not for sharing all your stuff. If that were true, then the Mayflower Compact would have worked. And we wouldn't have had almost 40% of the people die in the first year. It wasn't until they essentially instituted a form of capitalism where each was responsible for their own that they have a bounty. When they were doing, if you read the Mayflower Compact, it sounds like a early draft of the Communist Manifesto. And it's the same ideas. Well, those ideas go back even further. Go read the Book of Acts. They talk about having a commune and sharing and things like that. Doesn't last because that's not the natural tendency of humans. So it's all these ideas. I'm telling you, man, there is no such thing as a new idea. It is just the same old garbage recycled over and over and over.
So do you think it's the process is for money or power or both?
It's power, dude.
It's all power.
It's all power.
Money is not worth the paper it's printed on. But if I can convince you it is, and you'll give me your land, your hard assets. Gold is another one. Gold is it doesn't get destroyed, but it doesn't really have any value. Diamonds. We have an artificial scarcity of diamonds, and otherwise, and the diamond jewelers convince people to start buying. I mean, I fell for it until I learned better. But it's if I can do something to control your behavior, some people get off on that. I'm the opposite. I don't want to be bothered. If you've got a skill and I have a skill and they don't match, but together we make a great team, awesome. Right? If I can do something and you can do something, and we come to a mutual agreement on exchange because we can each provide different things that the other one can't. That is the natural tendency of human behavior. And then along comes, it's like someone looks around and goes, oh my God, no one's in charge. Oh, I'm in charge. And if you don't believe me, I've got Brutus here who's going to back me up. I mean, that's the thing is none of these guys could do it. Well, people will say could be in charge if they didn't have someone who believed them to enforce it. Without the enforcers, they're all just people standing on a street corner talking. And to me, those are the real criminals. Did I answer your question, Tommy, or did I just go?
Yeah. No, you did good.
So, this is, when I several years, it's been probably almost 15 years ago, I took this is why I thought I was libertarian, and then I realized that I was more anarcho-capitalist. And I'm more than willing to, say it is a utopian view of the world, but it's like, if we could just leave each other alone, we'd be a happier planet.
So, like, the 50s, 40s kind of era?
No. Oh, no, it's never. The 50s was fake prosperity because we were the only superpower to emerge from the war with an intact industrial complex.
Well, I'm talking about how everybody left each other alone, kind of.
Well, but see, in the 50s, they didn't leave each other alone.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They didn't leave each other alone, bro.
Well, see, my knowledge comes from movies.
I know, but
we know that's why he's dropping the bombshell on you right now.
There was in my view too, the 40s and 50s. There were two things that happened after the war. We had a hyper patriotic era that this was when a lot of statues and things went up, and we also had a hyper religious. And granted, we went through the Great Depression and then this horrible war. I get it, right? It's like the pendulum swung all the way over here to this hell on earth, and then it swung all the way back over here, and it's like right here's where we should have stopped, right in the middle. Now, I will say that the seeds of this idea, there are two times in history that this idea was tried to be put into practice. One is in ancient Greece, and it's democracy. It's straight democracy. And then the founding of this country realized that can't work, but we have to have a representative republic. And the ideals of republicanism is that the individual is greater than the state. And I don't believe, there may have been one other time when a true republic was put in a few hundred years ago, but I'm not, it seems to me that there was something tried in a small country in Europe. And you got to remember the size of the United States at the time was pretty small compared to the continent in Europe and stuff. And they tried to deal with all the injustices that they realized, but they couldn't deal with all of them and have a unified country, but they laid the groundwork for their destruction in the Constitution and in the arguments about the Constitution. So I would say that was the most recent attempt at this. But the problem is it takes extreme vigilance and understanding of the citizens of what they have, and it will always be attacked from multiple angles. And that's the sad reality, right? That's whether you want to say believe a Judeo-Christian epic that we live in a fallen world, and so there's always but even you get this in Hinduism, you get it in Buddhism, you get it in Taoism, even that there's this dark force that's always trying to destroy the light. And then the light is reborn, and this is this continuous cycle that never ends, right? It goes back and forth. So, and that may be true. It may be why a utopia is extremely difficult to maintain, because it's a very high energy state, and entropy is a very undeniable phenomenon in the universe. You know what entropy is? Okay, yeah. So since everything is going, so if you're up high energy and entropy is going to take place to decay, then there's always a source of darkness, we'll say, not necessarily evil, but the opposite of light. But staying in a high vibrational state takes a lot of effort. Even for, it takes a lot of meditative effort. It takes a lot of, and I'm not saying just being joyful for the sake of being joyful, but actually being in that higher emotional state. So, but this is my idea, a theory, if you want to call it that, why the self-help section of a bookstore is always pretty large, and it never seems, it's like, how many times can the same book be written?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, check this out. And this is true, man. People need to not be douchebags.
Yeah. No. They have nothing to do with it. Well, it's like there was that one in Germany where someone splattered paint all over. It's like, oh, look, the Nazis. Someone said, I saw it on Twitter, said, oh, look, the Nazis are again This is exactly what they did to the Jews in the 30s. We've done it in this own, or we did it in World War One. What again? I don't know what it was with Democrat presidents in world wars, but they really seem to be a-holes about it. Woodrow Wilson approved of the incarceration of Americans who were of Italian and German descent, and that was their only crime. We did it again in World War II. Now, we very publicly about the Japanese Americans, but we also did it with Germans and Italians, just not as much. There were several German Americans who were lynched. They were accused of a crime. They were lynched, and Woodrow Wilson pardoned the men who did it. Woodrow Wilson also gave us a lot of other stuff like income tax and the Federal Reserve, but he was a very misguided individual. I don't know if he was necessarily evil. I think he was at least very misguided. Maybe I'm being too nice, but yeah, and even in Russia, I bet you if you took a poll, it probably like most things, there's about 20-30% of the citizens who are like, yeah, let's go all the way to Poland, and everyone else is like, can we just leave them alone? Yeah. Why do we have to have a war? Why do we have to fight? I'm just trying to earn enough money to get vodka and bread for the next week. You know?
Yeah.
And that's, it all could have been started because your dog killed my duck.
Right. Yeah. But, a personal grievance is one thing, but when you don't even know the people, that's how the Soviet Union was. Like I had friends of mine, in high school who went to visit. Once you could get away, and this is how when I went to Czechoslovakia in the 80s, you got away from the political gibberish and just met people on the street. They're just trying to make a better life as best they can, just like everyone else. Now, they may not have the opportunities, but this is why you'll have parents who'll stand in line for hours to get something for their kids. Yep. So now here hey, they're going to get the latest, whatever action figure or something, but it's the same idea. It's just a different thing. In the Soviet communist country, it might be to get a pair of socks, but it's still a scarce commodity. I don't know. Are you guys all flickering? I see that I keep resetting, and I see Seth keeps resetting, but I don't know if it's my.
It's
yours. I haven't. Yeah. I think it's yours. Yeah.
Nobody's reset.
Yeah. Now you're all are robot-y.
Oh, that's probably you.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. I really miss the Phi Optics that I had with Sensei Bell.
Hey, Seth.
So much better.
Do you want one of these?
Sure. I don't know where I'd put it.
In your garage.
Put it behind me.
No, just put it on your shelf behind you somewhere.
There ain't no room.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah.
And that's the thing. If we get the house that we're trying for, I'll probably be on satellite and at some point be on Starlink. But Starlink, HughesNet has some decent speeds, but it's a half a second up to a half a second latency. That's the problem. But then Starlink's supposed to be available in that area starting in June. So,
oh wow,
at least that's what I'm telling my work. So that
is
they're
Starlink
like,
as good as they say, or is it kind of overblown?
Compared to the other satellite internet providers, it is miles better.
I guess if he moves to get that house, we'll know, Tommy.
Right.
He'll have it.
Yeah. The question is though, I put my name on the waiting list for the regular, which is $100 down. And I think I don't know if it's $100 a month or $80 a month, but then they have a premier service that is, you have to put a $500 deposit down, and it's I have to look. It's a lot more, but it's a lot better speed. But I don't know if it's, in my view, enough better to justify the cost. But because the problem with, some of those out in the country they're just slow. High speed is 5 megabit, which is too slow for what we're doing. And then like HughesNet is up to 25 megabit, but high latency. So something like this could be bad, depending on what's going on. But I talked to some people. I talked to a real estate agent, talked to some people who are on some of this stuff out there. And a friend of hers who lives not too far from where we're looking at this house. My hair's a mess. She works from home and has for quite a while, and she doesn't notice a slowdown in because apparently somehow it's routed through California. I don't really know exactly what all it is. But when people in California get home in the evening, so say 9 o'clock our time, she notices a big slowdown in speed. So, and I don't know what that means, but with our kids not living with us, I upload videos and do stuff like this, but I don't have to have that really high bandwidth like I had to there in Cincinnati. It's just when I upload a video from here, because it's only 6 megabit upload speed, an 8.5 minute video takes about 2 hours.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Now, granted, that is out of Final Cut Pro 24 frame per second, high quality, right? That's the highest quality codec. I haven't compressed it through Handbrake or anything yet. So, which is what I do, which is how I usually put it on the other, especially if it's an older video and I put on Rumble or whatever. But which is,
you're still uploading the Rumble?
I mean, still Rumble's supposed to be taken off.
Yeah, we upload to Rumble too.
Yeah.
I just
Themensroomislive
late.
on Rumble.
I was surprised. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I need to get back and make sure my videos are all over there. It's what I don't have a way is putting them on Rumble, Minds, BitChute, YouTube. I even have videos on Vimeo, although I haven't done that in a long time. I need something that just shoots it to all of them at once, but I don't have that. So and YouTube is actually paying me, so it's not much. It's about $100 every 3 months, but hey, it buys the beer and the supplements I review, so I can't complain too much.
Yeah.
All right, so there's a big trend with TikTok, and I was curious of what y'all's answers were, and so I'm gonna ask the question.
Okay.
All right. Stupid question of the week. Okay. Let's say you're using the bathroom and you hear someone breaking into your house. What do you do?
I grab my toilet gun.
Let the dogs eat them.
Laugh.
Like, do you pull up your pants and go out there? Or
What are you talking about? I walk around my house nude.
Just go butt naked out there, because nobody wants to rob a house with a butt naked man running at them.
Butt naked with the toilet gun, son.
Yep. I just sit there with my toilet gun and wait for him to come around.
Cops come, the guy's got the toilet seat around his neck.
Well, there's very little worth stealing from my house that you can carry out. So if you want to take some heavy wooden furniture out, I'll just sit there and watch you.
Maybe give him $1 or $2 for there you go. Thank you very much.
I mean, I have a laptop. Well, I have technically 2 laptops. Neither of them are very high. I mean, my Windows laptop, it's a personal laptop, when it was brand new several years ago, was $400. So if you are hard pressed for $60, then you can have it. I don't have very much jewelry. Don't have very much trinkets anymore. Still got a lot of computer books, which I don't think they're going to steal.
You need to get a 3D printer.
No.
Have you tried one?
I know I don't want one, because then I'll end up dropping $1,000 in 3D printing supplies and be
it's
divorced.
Really. See, I've done printed every day.
It just looks addictive.
Show us
saying.
some stuff you printed, man.
I don't need something that's addictive. I don't need another.
All away.
Yeah, he's already married. Damn it!
I've done gave it all away. I've done gave all my 3D prints away.
You didn't take pictures?
No, I can pull up. I can't show you what I sent my dad. If you wanna see the guy gift I gave my dad,
Send me the picture. I'm gonna put like a face on it, and then I'll post it.
Okay.
It sounds pretty funny from what you said.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hilarious. All right, I'm gonna send you the picture. Okay.
Yeah. Although to kind of answer your
Just
question,
do it on my phone.
The bathroom I tend to use is 4 steps for my pistol, so the dogs would eat them first. So yes, if I thought my life was threatened, the lack of pants would not stop me from shooting you.
Yeah, like you and me, man, we ain't got to worry about it. We got the dogs, and then we'll get the leftovers.
Hey,
Right.
You'll go out of the world just the way you came in, butt naked with a shitty ass.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going out of the world. They are.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, I don't know about you, but I didn't come into the world with a shitty ass. I came in this world covered in somebody else's blood, and I got no problem going out the same way. I mean, I don't know about the shitty ass thing. That just might be a Tommy gun thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just did.
The only bad thing is because of the move and everything, the only thing I have packed and ready to rock is range ammo, so it'll go right through them, through the wall, through the it's all was that steel was it steel jacket? Is that what the
Full metal jacket, baby?
Full metal jacket, yeah. I don't have any of those aluminum jacket ones.
Yeah, I got Luger full metal jackets is what what I shoot at the range, and that's what I've got in my gun for shooting people.
Yeah. Now I do have several hundred rounds of
allegedly.
Yeah, the rumor is that I do have several hundred rounds of ballistic. What do they call that? Not ballistic. The hollow points. But anyway, there's another name.
There you go. They call them hollow points.
Yeah, I know, but there's some other name for it. But that's in the
lethal rounds. What you're thinking of?
They're all lethal if you hit them.
I know, but you know how stupid the world's.
Yeah, I know. It's just that the self-defense ammo, I think, is what I was looking for. That leaves a bigger hole in people.
Especially when you fire it from a bigger gun.
Yeah, well, I don't have my son's 45 here.
So everybody thinks 3D printing's expensive, but I've made probably 25 prints and 5 print fails, and I've only used about 5% of the filament on that roll.
Oh,
yeah, but how big is the size of the stuff that you're making?
Some stuff is like helmet size. Like I'm printing an Iron Man helmet. What I printed my dad was actually pretty massive. I printed
It looked small.
That's the test print. I want to make sure it's printed right. Yeah.
So you still haven't got the helmet done?
I'm printing it in sections.
Well, yeah, you have to.
Yeah. If I had a bigger machine, I could print it all at once.
Yeah,
but
that's I kind of figured that out, Tommy.
I was afraid the quality was gonna suck. Like you would see the individual lines, but it depends on if you want to wait. Like if you want that thing right then, you can do standard quality, and you'll see some faint lines of where they came. But if you do high quality, it takes some time, but it's smooth. It's like store-bought plastic figures.
It's like China kid finger made plastic.
Yeah. There's no odor to it if you get PLA. Or there's a couple of them that don't have no odor that you can print right in your room. You won't smell nothing. The sound ain't bad. And I spent, in total right now, what my wife spent was $160 for me to get started. That's printer, putting it together. It's really cheap. If I knew it was going to be this cheap, I would have done it a year ago.
A year ago, it probably wasn't that cheap, Tommy.
That's true. If it was this cheap a year ago, I would have done it. The bad part is now is I want another one because I'm printing so much. I want 2 machines.
Because it's Tommy's new toy. Yeah. I'm just waiting to see when you make something for the truck.
Well, see, I got special filament that's heat. It can withstand 175 temperature.
All right, Tommy, I got a request.
Okay.
You just tipped my Adam just gave me an idea about making something for the request. I need a look. If you look online, I need a beer tap for PBR, like an old school, like 60s, 70s looking beer tap.
Yeah, I can do that.
because my dad really wants a PBR. I've been looking for years. He wants a gear shifter out of a beer
Okay.
tap.
Now I can do that, but it has to be in a solid color, one solid color, and you'll have to go to the hobby store and buy paint to paint.
Right. That'd be fine.
Model paint is the best for it, and then
Right.
you get go to Advance and get that clear coat in a can, spray it. Oh yeah, see, that's what I made my dad. And I put it on his desk and then went to work. He laughed like hell.
But you
the
also
quality, that's low quality, and that looks really good.
yeah.
Because when I do a test print, I do it low quality just to see what it'll do. That's low quality.
The first weekend, and Tommy's already making dicks.
Yep, exactly. He's already making peckers.
It's a Dickosaurus.
Mm-hmm. It's a Dickosaurus Rex.
Yep.
I got you. Like I said, right? What did I say, Tom? Think about it, Tommy. What did I say, Seth? You know, he'd be making dicks before you knew it.
Yeah, now you're making dicks. So.
Now you're making dicks.
But it was.
He's
funny.
printing them out, and Kristen's probably like, "Hey,
Yeah.
Somebody's got to test them out.
No.
Which would you buy? One that's been tested by Kristen or Tommy?
Oh, that's awful.
I know, but I had to.
She's probably sitting there on the bed glaring at us right now.
No,
She's probably giggling because she got something sweet. Did you get your damn birthday present yet?
No, he still got to pick it up. He was at the park yesterday, but when he called me, I was eating.
I texted you though first.
You texted me
like 20 minutes ahead of time.
Here's the thing: if you text me between like 4:30 or 6, if I'm not in the room, I don't hear it because I plug up my phone to charge.
So are you working tomorrow, Tommy?
I'm going drag racing.
So you're not working?
No.
When do you go back to work? Monday?
Monday.
Are you racing Sunday?
No, we're just testing and tuning, getting it ready for the race.
Tommy.
Right. So either after that, go to Seth's and drop it off, or throw it in the fucking mailbox and text him and say it's in your mailbox. Y'all motherfuckers live in the same town.
Hey, Tommy.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I want you to make a reel and some video.
All right.
Can you do that?
Yeah. What do you need?
I want you to make a reel. Creative freedom.
Okay.
But I want you. Hey, repeat after me.
All right.
Hey, this is Tommy Gunn, and you're watching the Men's Room.
Hey, this is Tommy Gunn. You're watching the Men's Room.
And then start showing some car stuff.
Okay.
I mean, something along them lines. But don't be like, hey, y'all, here you go.
Here's these people's in the interwebs, outer space in my mind.
So I haven't figured out what I got the Men's Room logo printed in the 3D cab, but I don't know what to make out of it to print and send off. So everybody gets a men's logo thing.
Coaster, ashtray.
I thought about ashtray. I can make a coin out of it. I thought about it with everybody that has like the mic near them, having like it clip on there with the Men's Room logo.
Oh yeah, because that'd be nice to be right there. That'd be cool, man. Little emblem.
Or make Adam a necklace to go with his outfit.
Make him a big old Flavor Flav clock with the Men's Room logo in the background.
I'll make it spin so he can spin the logo.
Right. We need the belt because of all the belts too. But yeah, we'll get to a Men's Room belt eventually. Damn it.
But she just ordered me. Was it 4 more colors? So I got 6 total. 6 different colors: gray, red.
Yeah, trust me, I'm waiting to see how your Iron Man helmet turns out. Because being as big of a fan as I am as you are,
Oh yeah.
And we
Well,
like a lot of the same shit, Incredible Hulk and Wolverine, and so yeah, it'll be badass to see what all you can do. That's why I was asking about the helmet, because I was sincere. I really was,
Oh yeah. The only thing I got to do is put magnets in it because that's how the face goes on.
right,
I could have printed to where it comes up by itself by a button at the chin, but you have to order some springs and a gear.
right,
And I was like, I'll just do the magnet thing. It ain't no biggie.
right.
Yeah.
That'll be cool. Well, I'm gonna be at a car show tomorrow. The MDA. So there's no coffee and gaming. Sad face.
Do you got a backup one?
Yeah, it's gonna be broadcast on YouTube, but I had to change the schedule on Trovo because they emailed me the week of Comic-Con. I was like, if you miss another one, we're gonna take away your schedule. I was like, well, wonderful. Thanks.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
they're
glad I don't use
hardcore about it.
Trovo.
Do what?
It's like, glad I don't use Trovo.
Well, I mean, we get pretty good views over there.
You might, but it doesn't help YouTube.
Yeah, but I mean, shoot. Seems like there's a lot of people over there. We gained 12 followers in one day. Yeah.
That's great, but we don't have them in the chat. Like, are they there now?
Yeah, well, not right now, but usually when Coffee and Gaming come over there, it's pretty good.
What are we still going on that one day, Memorial Day? Has anything else been planned for that? Or
I think the last we heard is Adam's not coming.
That was Labor Day, not Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Labor Day. Sorry.
I was like, what? Yeah, no, with everything going on, yeah, there's just, especially after losing the extra income.
I am keeping that day open. I'm gonna keep that schedule, like that, just in the off chance something changes. Because I mean, we've got a couple months, so you never know. Something could be different. Something could change. Whatever.
The heart transplant goes and it's all good, then possibly. But yeah,
right.
Up until, as you know, so it's just that shit's back up in the air.
I mean, there's no problem. It's just I'm just gonna keep it open just in case.
Yeah.
Better to have it than you at the last minute. Hey man, I can still come.
Well, and you know me, dude. I'm pretty on it when it comes to by August, I'll know for sure before September.
Right. That's true, but still.
So I mean, you holding it makes sense than you giving it away. Then going, no, now I need it back. So I get it, and thank you. I respect the fact that you're doing that. But yeah, after everything I found out today, yeah, it's there's just too much else going on that I'm not even traveling this year. It's that bad.
Dang. Lape, when are you supposed to be getting your new house?
When his wife tells him. I'm just being honest.
I didn't fall asleep. I had to find the right tab.
Okay.
That's what she said.
He's looking at 3D printers now.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
I bet you.
No, I was actually trying to figure out what the distance between the house and Salem was.
Oh.
It's a little over 2.5 hours, essentially.
From where you're at now?
No, not from where I'm at now. From the house that we've got trying to get a contract in on.
And you said that's in Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's outside Mountain City. It's southeast of Mountain City. Southwest of Mountain City. Southeast of Mountain City is North Carolina. Yeah, it's actually almost, I guess, between Mountain City and Butler, technically, but it's still in the Mountain City area. Literally across the street is Butler. But yeah, no, it's what's interesting about the house is when we were down there in October looking at stuff, my wife and I drove around that area. We saw that house. It was in an area where there's kind of a new development, if you will, up on this mountain hilltop, and The lots up there are 5 to 10 acres, and so they are from 38 to 62,000, depending on the shape and size. Obviously, the higher end ones are 10, but and like in most, the choice lots are already gone, right at the top of the hill where it's kind of flat. There's already houses up there. A lot of trees though, so you can't see them. But we saw that house and we liked the outside, but the price was just we can't swing that. And apparently, and then I saw a few weeks later, it's like, I'm gonna look that house up again, and it was off the market, and I thought it had sold. And they were on and off the market, and they fixed some things, they put it back on, they took it off, they reduced the price, they put it back on. And the other side of it that we had to realize is we're going to have to spend a little bit more than we were desiring to, within reason, right? It's not one of these things where it's going to cripple us too much, right? You're not going crazy, because Tennessee's a state people want to move to, but not a lot of it's in the mountains. A lot of it's like around Nashville, Knoxville's having that type of thing. And so it got reduced down into the upper edge of our price range, we'll say. And we looked at it, we talked to our agent, and she talked to their agent, and our agent came back and said, no, they are motivated sellers, because that's the thing too, is I looked on Zillow at the history, and it had been on and off the market for 2 years. And it was just like they were just crazy in what they thought they could get for it. And so I was like, well, let's test how motivated are they. And so we put in a bid that was 45,000 under what they were listing it as. And they came back in the middle, which is actually where I wanted to get them. and see, when I looked at it, I said, you know what? I'm looking at there's a farm down in the valley, downhill from this thing. And I said, I bet you when that was built, because that development has been going on for years, right? It's not like a brand new, but it's probably in the last 15 years, maybe 20. I said, I bet you they put one of their kids got married and they lotted that off from the farm and they built that house. And that's exactly what happened. And there were 2 other lots that they were trying to sell individually. But again, one is an acre and a half. The other one's like 0.7, something like that. So as part of their counter is they were said because it borders the lot, because it's like 1.1 acres or something. So they were going to petition the county to have that reparceled back together. And so we're like, oh, so we end up with the 3.5 acres. So yeah,
that'd be nice.
Talking to the loan officer today, part of it's we got to move a little faster because of this nonsense going on over in Ukraine. Rates have gone up.
Yep.
And we're trying to do it conventional. We're going to end up probably using a bigger chunk of the money we got from the sale of our house than we wanted to, but it's not like all of it. It's just that because the problem is in the area of the type of house we wanted, dude. There are times we find them. My wife will find them at like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Gone.
We'll talk to our agent. Well, there was one the other day where it was literally listed. It was on a Friday morning, and it said all offers must be in by 6 p.m. tonight. And it went for 30 more grand than we were willing to pay for it. And it was a beautiful house. It was move-in condition, stone, 1.5 acre lot. It was outside of Johnson City. It's not quite in the mountains, but it's a little bit closer to civilization. Internet's a little easier to come by there. Decent internet. Right, Spectrum or something. So yeah, that's the thing. It's like, and then I found a house, 13 acres, 229,000. I'm like, well, what the heck's wrong with it? They had a couple outbuildings and stuff. I started looking at the pictures, and I can't tell. The drywall is cut from about 3 feet up down to the floor, and there's a creek right beside this house. And I'm like, so is this a renovation or is this flood damage?
Oh,
And I'm looking at the price, and I'm looking at this creek, and it's shallow creek, but it's definitely in the flat bottom, right? It's like, I told my wife, I said, I bet you that's flood damage. There's no way. And at that price, okay, for that area, that's way too little for 13 acres and a house.
Right.
You know, it's not crazy. You know, I mean, some of the stuff on the lake is 1.5 million, and it's like an acre and 1,600 square foot home. It's like, yeah, that's just crazy. I don't have that kind of money. Well, that's not true. I do know some people with that kind of money, but they're not going to sneeze on me for it. But you know, that's the thing that it's taken place. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, there's I don't know, 5 or 6 times there were some houses, in order for us to even see, we had to put an offer on. We still got outbid. The one that we put an offer on without even seeing it, and we're overbid, obviously, was they went with someone was paying cash, you know, no inspection.
Oh yeah.
So far, our agent went out to this house on Thursday or Friday, I guess it was Thursday, and videoed, and she didn't see anything odd, right? Nothing, you know, struck her as, hey, this is going to be a problem. They're going to replace them. Yet to do is they're going to replace some windows, and it's a well. So it's a well, and it's also septic tank.
Right.
So there's something what they didn't. Our impression was it wasn't something wrong with the well, but they were going to have it certified that it was fine.
Good to go.
Yeah. So, and I don't know what the pH of the water is. Knowing Tennessee, it's probably pretty high. It's a lot of limestone. You get a lot of, you know, 8s and 9s on your pH scale. When I lived there and lived at home outside Knoxville there, we were on a well, and I had a fish tank. And when I did the pH, it was dark purple. So, but which actually will help for some of my beer making, believe it or not. So we'll just have to see. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, man. And but what's really strange is on the listings, it's reverted back to the old pictures from like when they were building it. It's very odd, not the more recent ones. So I don't know if it's because they've got an offer or whatever, but see how it goes. But yeah, and they're wanting it is their daughter that it's her family, and they're wanting to build a house. It's off of Copperhead Hollow Road, so that ought to tell you how far out in the sticks it is. Copperhead Hollow Road. You go down there, you kind of veer right.
What is that song? Better stay away from Copperhead Road.
No, I don't know. It's surrounded by cornfields.
Better stay away from Copperhead Road.
It's technically on Preserve Road or Street. I think it's Road. So it'll be interesting. It's going to be just Dina and I and the dog for a while. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I am in the process of remodeling my bathroom.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Are you doing it yourself or you're having it done?
I'm doing it myself.
Okay.
Oh, are you taking the tub out, putting a shower in?
No, we're not. We decided right now is not a good time for that. So all we're doing is like the vanity sinks.
Okay.
The vanity sink and the toilet right now.
Yeah. Oh, the toilet.
Toilet.
If your toilet's like my son and I did that during the lockdown round 1.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is the way they have the newer ones, at least the one I got, and it was actually bigger than the old one, but the way I guess they press molded or something, and they can curve it in to make it stronger.
Yeah.
The entire thing, the bowl in the seat was less heavy than just the old bowl. It was hilarious. I was like, I picked the old one up, and I'm like, because the new one wasn't too bad. It's just awkward to carry it, in the box. And then I went to pick up the old one, and holy crap. And I picked up the new one, about hit myself in the chin with it, especially the seat, to put it in. I was like, holy cow, this thing's heavy.
Yeah.
The old one.
I replaced the tub and everything in the bathroom. Like everything's brand new in our bathroom. Yeah. And they had a cast iron tub.
Yeah.
That thing was freaking heavy.
Yeah.
I got one in my garage, man.
Those are good. Usually they last a long time. If you polish them up and keep them.
Yeah, I think it's called reglazed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yep, the one I got in the garage
They-
just needs reglazed.
They didn't like it because during winter the tub got extremely cold. So if you were going to take a hot bath, it would get cold real quick.
Yeah, that can happen. Insulate your underneath it. Is that what you got, Seth?
That's what I got. I got a different countertop than that, but I got a.
I thought you were going with a single sink.
I am.
Okay.
You got to let me finish the explanation.
Oh, my bad.
I said we got this, but we got a different sink, and all I'm going to do is just going to have the sink on the left side.
More counter space.
Yep. Oh, nice. So who makes that?
It's Diamond.
Is that, do you have to order that and like get it at Home Depot or something, or?
I got it at Lowe's.
Okay.
I can get the cabinet. The cabinet's there. They're waiting on the sink. We did a cultured marble.
Oh, okay.
And so it's something that's got to be formed.
Right.
And it'll all be one piece.
Yeah, I think that's the man-made marble.
Yeah.
How do y'all feel?
Isn't that less porous than the natural or something? There's something about it that I forget.
I think so.
Go ahead, Tommy. Sorry.
Oh, now how do y'all feel about the sinks where it looks like a bowl? It's above the counter.
I hate that. I think it's so
I do too. I was like, or the ones that are so shallow, it looks like the water will just pour out.
Yeah.
I don't like them.
Yeah, I don't like them either.
You're just uncivilized swine.
Yeah.
Well, it is. Those are for people with fancy bathrooms.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's for people that don't use the bathroom. Like, they
A
don't
normal
actually
family,
live in their house.
Well, yeah, back before I started using electric razors, some of those bowls, it's like you can't, or even to wash your hands. There's my mother-in-law has one that, well, it was her sister-in-law that kind of put it in. It's off to the side. So when you go to wash your hands, if you're not careful, you're getting water all over the counter because it's right on the edge as opposed to in the middle or closer to the middle. Like you get an oval bowl and you put it in the back, and so it's maybe only a third in. But this is an oval bowl with it on the left side and like a third in or less than that. Like, and so it's easy to because you're on the narrower side of the oval, right? You know, and there's less room underneath to catch the water when you're washing your hands.
See, I think it's funny how my mother-in-law, when we was picking out stuff, we couldn't pick out modern stuff. It had to fit the house. So it was more of like a rustic kind of look. Mm-hmm. Because she said it would feel weird if she was to go, the house seem all rustic looking or antique, and then the bathroom be all modern.
Yeah, but it's not her house.
Oh no, yeah, it is.
Oh, it is her house. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. But now there are some modern-esque items that will look good in a rustic setting. You know, some of it, you got to redo everything, but some of them are kind of that almost like a transitional, right? You know, where they can do either. Yeah, but a lot of the modern stuff I don't really like anyway. But
some of the stuff's starting to look really funky.
Oh yeah.
Well, see, I went with because the bathroom I did, which is my bathroom now, off my office, I kept the original toilet, which it's tiny, but the way they had it, like you had a where the toilet was and a partial wall, so you could put in a shower. But like any of us, if we wanted to stand to take the shower there, it'd be hitting a center chest. Like there was no like to run you'd have to run like the rainfall style. Oh, so what happened was we removed that section of the wall, which opened up the bathroom to put in a clawfoot tub. And I took all the drywall off because I was going to leave the drywall up on the ceiling. Well, we had a leak in the upstairs bathroom and didn't know it. And all the damn top of the drywall came down on my head when I was taking the sides off. But what I did there was I got down to the studs, tore up the floor up to concrete. I had ceramic tile put down, and then we used 1x4s. And so it looks like a wooden cabin. And then on the wall that's actually got drywall, I did like a dark red, a bloodish colored red in the bathroom. And it's white and checkered floors with a clawfoot tub and a pedestal sink.
Oh, wow.
The Edison bulbs.
Yeah. Nice.
I'll have to I don't think you've seen it. I'll have to take a picture. Sometimes on Facebook, you'll see Romeo when I did the floors. because I basically just bought the smaller square ones because it was a smaller area to do, and just went with something different that a lot of times they'll use for a backsplash, but you can use that shit for flooring. So that's what I did.
I'll be honest. I appreciate a high toilet. When you
Oh.
actually sit on a high toilet.
I got one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the new one.
Yeah, the new one we got was that way too.
Just make sure it's not a low flushing motherfucker, so that when you go to take a shit, it doesn't flush.
Oh, they're all low flushing now.
Well, see, my toilet now has got 2 buttons on top.
Yep.
And one button's for pee, one's for poop. And I had to explain it to the kids because they were trying to push both.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah, the new one we did, I didn't like that. And right behind you, it was just a lever, but basically you push it down, and its first go is like a half flush. But if you hold it down like a half a second, it goes to a full flush.
Man, see, this is why I'd buy a new toilet, gut my toilet, and switch that sumbitch.
Yeah, you get to do a new flapper and the floater arm.
Yeah. That's the only problem with the new toilet. I'm afraid when it breaks, I'm not going to know how to fix it.
Don't worry, Tommy. By the time it breaks, you won't be living in that house because you'll probably be dead.
Well, I don't know. If it's modern, it'll only last 5 years.
No, I've not had a lot of problems with toilets breaking, even with modern ones.
My thing has been, my dad had this one, the house that they had built. He has to replace his flappers. Like, I don't know, every few years they start leaking.
Now, has it got a lot of calcium buildup in the water?
No, I don't think so. I don't know.
Somebody's doing meth and chewing on the flappers, damn it.
Yeah, probably.
But see, that's like here, we have to replace the shower head like once every 1 year because calcium built up inside it.
Well, if you take it off and clean it, then you don't have that problem, right?
Well, we could soak it in there, but it builds up really fast.
Yeah.
Are you on a well or is that city water?
City water. They put so much of that stuff in it, though. You can taste it when they put it in.
Yeah.
Fluoride.
Fluoride, yeah. I'd get a whole
So
house.
you got good teeth, Tommy. For people, all the people that live in areas that don't brush their fucking teeth, that's what that water shit's supposed to do, help your teeth.
Yeah, that's a myth.
I said supposedly.
I know. It just calcifies your pineal gland and makes you docile.
I'm on well water, baby.
I will say well water tastes a hell of a lot better, though.
Usually.
You got all that shit in it.
Yeah.
There's some places there in central Ohio, the wells have got a high sulfur count, so you got to be careful.
Now, what is going on with people cutting on their sink and they take a lighter and there'll be like fire coming out of their faucet with water?
That's the fracking shit.
Well, that's not true either. But there's a lot of areas that people don't realize that there's a natural gas that is in the water table, dissolved into the water table. And that's what that is.
That's why I was curious if it was that or
because there are now. Granted, yes, there are people. I shouldn't say it's a myth. There are people who have that because fracking is close, but there are a lot of people who don't have fracking within 2,000 miles and have the same thing.
Like I saw the video and I took my lighter to my faucet and I was like, "No, it ain't real."
Of course you would.
It is a phenomenon, but a lot of it's because there's natural gas in low levels in the water table in some areas. But part of the problem with the fracking, I will admit, is that they pump salt water into it, but they replace the oil with the water. So the density, they are supporting that empty gap, but then it slowly takes up the oil and floats into the water table in some places. Now, the purists would say, oh, there's no evidence of that. And I'm like, well, there's also no evidence that it doesn't happen either. So you can't be, in my view, you can't be a purist about it. It can happen, but it may not be happening. Is that good enough answer, Adam? I'm sorry. I kind of cut you off.
I didn't ask the question. It was time.
I know that, but it was your answer that I was poo-pooing. Again, man, I'm the contrarian. No matter what someone says, it's like, I don't know if I agree with that. I'm not going to wave that banner very strongly. So, but anyway,
Don't you know when the water turns red, it's the end days, Tommy? Damn it, pick up a Bible, boy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, now Adam's got the ants crawling on his wall. The lights. Like,
Yep.
So.
Yep. And they're not racist. They're multicolored.
Yeah. Maybe when we're finally in a house, I'll do something in my background. I mean, here it's just the whatever my mother-in-law's got hanging.
Like Tommy's situation, there it ain't your house.
Yeah, that's correct.
I think it's funny. We all live with our mother-in-laws. Well, except for Adam.
Yep. Well, but mind you, she is in a case.
Okay.
Because she's dead. That's how we got Nathan. So yeah, like
Gotcha.
she's cremated and in a case. So technically, you are right, Seth. But she moved in with us, like you.
Your mother-in-law moved in with you guys?
Me, yeah.
I moved in with my mother-in-law.
So when did that happen?
Who, me?
Yeah. I guess I forgot or didn't know. I don't know.
July 21.
All right. Well, I'm old. I forget.
Shortly after she lost her job.
Yeah, Brandy lost the job, and then my mother-in-law they were going to sell her apartment building, without giving her any notice.
Gee whiz.
So she pretty much had to just get out. So we brought a couple trailers down and got her out of there in like a weekend. It was really hard, and then brought her up here and slowly acclimated her into her bedroom.
Okay.
So,
slowly acclimated her. Was she a fish? Did you have to dip her in?
She's rarely ever here. She's not here now.
Okay.
She has a boyfriend, lives 3 towns over.
Okay.
And so she on the weekend she goes and stays with him.
Okay.
Which the apartment was a nice apartment.
Did they tear it down or something, or what happened?
No, the owner, he got really tired of dealing with stuff, and he was a butthole. We never really communicated with him. It was always like he had somebody that took care of it,
right?
And they got fed up with like just the way he was and quit.
Oh wow!
And so then he started having to take care of stuff and answer phone calls and whatnot. He got really bent out of shape about it and just sold the whole lot.
Well, it's interesting that they would kick people out. I mean, if you had paying tenants, I would think a buyer of that apartment building would be like, "Oh, you got people paying rent already? Well, okay."
Well, they turn it into a little mall with a coffee shop and a Starbucks.
Well, yeah, if they're going to tear it down, but it doesn't sound like that's what they did, right? They didn't tear it down, did they?
No. Well, see, what it was he owned a bunch of properties, and I say apartment. It really wasn't an apartment. It was more like a condo.
Yeah.
Landominium.
Yeah, it was like a patio condo kind of deal.
Okay.
But there was multiple ones, and so he got rid of them all.
See, my sister's apartment, they just randomly one month sent a text saying, "Hey, your rent's going to go up $150."
Yeah, they did that a lot of places.
They just did it to my brother last week. Said his is going up $50.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? That little house that we lived in, Tommy, when we first got married, our little starter home, we lived there for 3 years. Our rent never increased.
I will say my first place was an apartment for $475, 2-bedroom, and it was only like a four house apartment deal.
Yeah,
and it was nice for what it was. For the price, they paid for the water. All we had to pay was electric. I loved it.
Dude, back in the days where the gas was not your problem and the water wasn't your problem, you just paid electric?
Yeah. Well, I got well water now, so I pretty much just pay for electric.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah. Yeah, our first apartment, I think we had to, maybe we just did pay electric, but everything was electric. We didn't have electric hot water.
We don't have gas or anything like that up here.
But I don't think we paid a water bill. I think we only paid an electric bill.
I know gas has gone skyrocket because we got gas here.
It's going to get worse.
Yeah.
Which gas? Petro, or you mean natural gas, Tommy?
All of it.
Natural.
It's all going up.
Right, but I wasn't sure which one he was referring to.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the price per unit of electric went up, so ours went fucking through the roof. It's about 3 times as much in the last 5 years. And then the natural gas also, yeah, you're right. My garage, right? As you guys know, there's nothing going in that garage other than the heater, which is gas. And the electric bill is $25 a month solid. It used to be like 15.
What did y'all hear? Did y'all hear about Target? What they're gonna raise their rates to
No, because I don't shop at Target.
For what?
for their employees?
Oh,
$25 an hour.
Yeah, I saw people complaining about that on Twitter, and it's like, well, is that because no one will work? Are they rolling in that kind of? I can't imagine they have that kind of high profitability.
And it's going to be per area. You can't pay somebody in Indiana $25 an hour. They'd go out of business.
But at the same time, what about the skilled workers that have to pay, where they went to college or something and have to pay, and they're going to be making the same amount as someone as Target? Why even go to college in?
Depending, though, it depends on how long you've been with the company and all that. I mean, starting
out, I understand that.
You know, if you're starting out, then those prices would go up as well normally. But then again, you're talking about paying probably 3 times what they get paid now.
Yeah.
So I would call that hogwash. There's no business model that's going to work.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. I don't know the particulars of it. And I don't know, like to Adam's point, if that's like in New York City and San Francisco.
Yeah.
But, you know, and I keep hearing about all these people who are being paid not to work, you know, and they're just staying in their mom's basement. I don't know who they are, you know, because I know people.
But here's the thing, though, Lape. It's people that are on unemployment, that they're still on unemployment, that have been being overpaid for the last year and a half.
Yeah.
Being on unemployment. And that's supposed to now April. It's supposed to be done. And it was supposed to be done April of last year, but it's still going on.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like there's so many places hiring, like you're saying too, and nobody's taking the job. So they're going to give them more money, you know, to Tommy's point, you know, well, that's not right. But then again, how did McDonald's take care of it? They put in an automated thing up until COVID.
According to, I found a news article from Local 10. I can't really tell who that is an affiliate of. I'm guessing it's a.
Well, what's the? You got the channel initials?
No. Let me just here. I'll put this in the private chat, and you guys can check it out too.
We have anybody watching still?
No. Well, we got one person, I think. Anyway, starting pay for Target employees may reach $24 an hour. Target aims to recruit and hold its workers with high pay, offering wages up to $24 an hour for some positions. The company announced Monday that it will adopt a minimum wage range from $15 to $24 an hour, with the highest pay going to hirees in the most competitive markets. In 2020, Target's minimum wage was set at $15 an hour. The company also expands its partnership with various brands. Anyway, they have roughly 350,000 employees in the U.S. What this tells me is Target in Roanoke, where we are, is probably going to be $15 an hour, but Target somewhere like DC or New York or something is going to be more $24 an hour.
That's Miami.
In Indiana, it's $7.40 an hour.
That's Miami, by the way. That channel that.
Okay.
But yeah, see that to me, that is right there. Is just market driven forces, right? If you've got an area where you've got competition for that same worker, you've got to sweeten the deal, right? You got an area where you got, 18 people applying for one job, you can pay them $7 an hour, right?
Yeah.
So this is what's going to happen though. Either they're going to make everybody go to part-time. They're going to cut benefits. They're going to make cheaper products to sell. Well, they're going to buy cheaper products to sell in their store.
Yeah, I'll stop you right there. I don't see that happen. They're going to keep the same distributors they got, Tommy. And you think that everybody's full-time now? Have you been sleeping for the last 10 years? Everybody works part-time. Especially at Target.
But yeah, I mean, retail, if you're not a manager, you're probably working part-time.
But the owner's still going to, they're still going to get the same amount of money. the main people. So the price, they have to get their money somehow. So they're either cut price somewhere or raise prices.
Right. Well, if it's a competitive increase, then cutting back on hours only makes that worse.
Yeah.
My daughter worked at Target in Cincinnati for a while, and she hated it. And I kept telling her, she didn't like working at Micro Center. It's like, stay out of retail.
Yep.
If you're not a manager or the owner of if you're a manager, you're working a lot of hours, but getting usually paid decent, not great. But the only person that wins in retail is the owner of the store. And that's if they're successful and they can franchise. If it's a single store, they're probably going to go out of business one day. But even big chains go out of business. Look at Kmart.
Yeah.
So, or Best Buy, or now sometimes the market changes, right? Kmart's problem is they didn't upgrade their stores enough. They were stuck in the 70s.
Well, that and they bought fucking Sears. They bought.
Well, yeah,
Craftsman.
that was a huge mistake.
That was the end of it, man. That they Titanicked after that.
Sears was Sears was a burning pile of
the CW.
Well, yeah. The CEO that Sears had in the early to mid 90s was a complete moron, right? He got rid of the catalog, which was, I don't know, 46, at least half, if not more, of their business.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a known staple, right? It was this big, thick thing and that way, now you could have it delivered to the store. You didn't have to have it come to your house. But it allowed them to have an inventory of goods without having it all in the, then they got rid of the catalog. Then when you went to Sears, they had a lot of that stuff in the store, and there was so much stuff you couldn't move around. People didn't know anything about it because it was new inventory. But if the side of it, Tommy, in my view, when it's the government that imposes that minimum wage, that's when they tend to cut benefits or hours. Because they have to cut costs. But if they are in a competitive market, they have to have a way to pay for that wage. And if they're having to compete with workers and so much that they're going to talk about a $24 an hour for someone on the floor that's not a supervisor manager, cutting hours is not going to work. So
well, see, I had another thing that they could do.
They'll probably raise prices.
Yeah. If they have these call centers, like my wife's work, Wells Fargo, they have a huge call center, huge building. And I was like, well, why won't they we have the technology now. Why don't they just let them work from home? They could sell the building, not have to pay for an electric bill because everybody's working from home. In the call centers.
Well,
because
where else are you going to keep the illegals, Tommy?
I can't speak for everybody, but I can tell you that my company, the production, call center production went down drastically bad.
Yeah.
When
some companies did that years ago. They did that, or what they do is they have call center buildings that are smaller. They're in a central location that's not expensive, and people go to that. But they have more of them, right? They have them in low rent parts of the country, not necessarily bad parts of town, but just things where things are cheaper. Yeah. A lot of it went overseas too.
China,
my cousin,
India.
He worked for Apple in the call center, but he worked from home. They paid partial on his internet bill. And he hated it because he hated being at home. Yeah.
No, some people, I mean, when we first started working from home with all the beer virus stuff, it took me probably 2 months to make that adjustment. And a lot of it's, how do I deal with the dogs barking at stuff? And eventually I just learned to ignore some of it. But I think some of my cohorts never fully adapted. And when they said, hey, we can come back to the office a little bit, some people have. Now, some people have, there's some people some people can do because, obviously I'm fully remote because I moved out of state. But some people are doing a mixture where they're doing 3 days in, 2 days off, 2 days at home. And some people are doing it the other way around. So a lot of it. But see, when everybody went, because we had a date where we could start working from home, and then eventually everyone had to, unless you had there were only certain jobs that were allowed in the building because that's what the governor shut the state down.
Right.
I stayed in the office until I came in on a Saturday to pick up some stuff because they made the announcement and I was out of town. But because it was so quiet, right? And then when we came back into the office, I didn't like it because now people were pestering me at my desk again, and I was having hallway conversations with people about stuff that they needed done or quite, work related, but still not what I was working on at the moment or wanted my opinion on something. And then when I went back to home, people by then had gotten adjusted. They weren't so pesky about it. But now, obviously, with looking for a house, sometimes that falls into it. I have to say, hey, I'm going to take these next 2 hours. I'll work later tonight, but I got to take care of some stuff. A lot of it's just communicating. But yeah, I've known people who work call centers from home, and I've been the opposite of what Seth was saying, where it just didn't work. A lot depends on the person. I think a lot depends on what you're a call center for.
And there's a big uprise in a 3-day weekend.
Yeah. And how many, do you have dogs or little kids at home? Is there other noises? If it's quiet, it works better. Too. Yeah. If it's quiet, it works better.
It's probably better during school time in general.
Yeah. But I've also called call centers where I can barely hear the person because there's so much noise in the background of other people talking to other customers.
Oh, I've hung up and recalled. Sometimes I'll admit that.
Here's an idea. Everybody on welfare should have to be the people that are working call centers.
You want them fixing your iPhone?
No, I know how to use the fucking internet and fix my own shit. I mean, all they do is read off of a script any fucking way.
Well, yeah.
Get somebody that knows what they're talking about with a brain.
Right. Typically, yeah, they go through all of the... Yeah.
Once AI gets better, that's all you're going to do. Like if you have a problem with your phone or something, you're just going to be communicating with an AI.
Oh, you're already doing it. You don't even know it.
Which you can still tell, though, with some things.
Yeah. Half the things, if you're on a website and a little thing pops up, it says, hey, I'm the such and such assistant.
That's a bot. Yeah.
99.9% of the time, it is not a real person.
Nope.
I actually used to program those at Ascendum. It was fun.
It's all Leif. Hey guys, it's all Leif's fault this shit exists because he used to program it. So let's go kick his ass.
All right.
Make sure he's on the toilet first.
Well, yeah, because see, where I am now, it's literally one step away from me. So yeah, I can almost reach it. I stretch out my hand. See, so if I put my camera back on, it's right over here. I just slide FR. I won't wave it around, Seth. Don't worry.
I don't care if you did. I'm about to grab one and I'm waving around.
YouTube is about stuff. Now, wait a minute, but if I put on a Ukrainian uniform or put a Ukrainian flag on my lapel,
the United Nations uniform from Canada, yeah,
then I can get my tactical shotgun out, right? Although I need to go to a gunsmith with it. There you go. I heard a thing. Someone send me a message. Someone get
It's me.
Oh.
From Discord.
All right. Well, you got any other topic? Did we even talk about a topic, or we just
didn't have a topic?
No, because you guys didn't go see Batman.
I couldn't. I thought someone else was in that chat said they were going.
I was
going to go, but they didn't.
Things happen.
Okay. Well, I was working late. I was still online at 6 o'clock, and I was like, I'm hanging up. I don't care anymore. I got some stuff working. I got my code review out. Someone else had it. Was like, I was on right, but I broke some stuff late yesterday. I was trying to fix it till 7, and it never did. And I finally figured it out this morning. But
oh yeah,
I went to.
Yeah, that's like next week. I'll be late more than likely because of the movie being 3 hours long.
Yeah. Well, what happened this time? I took the dogs out at like 7:30, 7:45. I thought, oh, they'll be okay until this is over because with my wife out, my mother-in-law's, well, they think she can handle them, but I don't think so. And about 8:45, I'm like looking around. No dog. Toby's in here sleeping. They're down with my mother-in-law watching TV with her, the other two. And I'm like, I'm not going to move because if I move, they're going to want to run to the back door.
Right.
So I was like, this is awesome. They've been out early and soon and not too late, not long ago that they should be okay for a couple more hours. 7 minutes to 9, Dozer comes over and puts his head in my lap, looks at me like, I gotta go. And as soon as I stood up, they all ran to the back door, and they all. Sometimes they do their business. Well, you know how it is, Adam, right? Sometimes the dogs will they're done, and then they'll play a little bit, and they're done. No, they all were sniffing around a lot and pee here, pee there, go here, okay.
Yeah. Well, spring's in the air and all.
Yeah, that is true. It was 65 degrees today, and then they all pooped and they all did stuff, and then
Wednesday, dude, I got to have bonfires because it was finally nice enough here that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I got to burn some shit. I mean, not a lot of the wood, because the woods is I still got snow on the ground, but some of the stuff that I had up was dry enough that I got to have a little bit. Man, it was a blast though.
Oh, nice.
I mean, that's the one thing I like about being retired, but having a job that never ends because I do the yard work is because with the oak trees and I've got like 3 acres of forest, the shit that hits the house, I've still got last year's stuff to clean up because I got sick before the leaves fell off the trees.
Yeah.
I went to New York and they were still all on the trees. I came back, they had fallen down. And then the next week I was sick until January. So, December anyway.
Yeah.
So,
see, here we're going to have almost 80 degrees Sunday. It'll be like 79.
Yeah, tomorrow it's supposed to be 65 here, and then by Tuesday it's supposed to drop back down to 20 and snow. But then again, we have bipolar weather and 4 seasons here.
So do we.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only going to be in the 70s. Now it's supposed to that's Mountain City. Sorry. 83 on Monday at now high wind Sunday and Monday. Oh, that's lovely. But yeah, I was looking at Mountain City where the house is. It's going to be in the 70s, then it's going to be 50s, and then there was a chance of snow late in last week, but then now it's changed to rain. But it'll be interesting to see, dealing with Tennessee again. So, but we'll see. Like I said,
So if you go to Tennessee, is the mother-in-law still going with you guys?
Eventually, at some point, at least that's the current plan. But if the likes of AJ, Alex Jones, or David Icke are correct, and it all hits the rotary oscillator, then maybe not. But that's part of why we wanted a house out with its own water supply. And then the other thing that this house has, a lot of them do, is it has a propane tank. So there's a propane backup if you lose power, especially in the wintertime.
Yeah.
So there's these... They're like space heaters, but they're in the wall, room heaters that you can help. They're not great at keeping the house too warm, but it keeps it from freezing, right? It's not like it's going to be 80 degrees inside or something, but
baseboard heaters, yeah.
Well, they're about, I don't know, yay big, but they're in the wall.
Radiator,
radiating type heat, and it runs off the propane tank. But now I don't know how you get water if there's no electricity. I don't know if there's a hand backup or anything, but
generally you gotta install your own or have like where mine is, because I just put mine in 4 years ago. I'd have to pop off the 2-inch PVC head and then put my stuff in that way, or run an extension
or a hand pump
for a hand pump. Yeah, correct, for a hand pump.
So it'll be interesting. Well, if we have the propane too, there's some generators that work off natural gas or propane for.
Yeah, I've got one that runs on both propane and or gasoline.
Yeah, because then you just get enough electricity to keep a few lights on, keep the refrigerator going, and keep your pump to your well going.
Yep, mine was. I didn't even worry about that because that's what I got the gallons of water. But it was wintertime, so I kept. And we had puppies,
right?
So the space heaters and stuff that were electric, we had those going, because even though I've got a fireplace, it wouldn't make much sense to start that up because it's it's the same as the heaters you're talking about. Yeah, it's great in that little bit of that room, but it doesn't heat the entire house.
Well, in the way this house is laid out, I could put the link if anyone cares. I mean, they're older pictures, so it's harder. But there's like a great room that faces it faces southwest toward the mountains, so there's a nice view and it's a high ceiling. But everything else is kind of low, and upstairs is your typical rooms that you can close, bedrooms and things you can close doors. So that big space you're not going to warm up, but the bedrooms and the critical things, bedrooms, bathrooms, stuff like that. Basement's got one in it, so you don't freeze your pipes out. And there's a one car garage, if you want to say. There's a way to pull a car in, but I don't think they've ever used it as a garage. It doesn't look that way, and it's not finished off, right? There's no, because if you really wanted to put a car in that, you probably want to block it off and cap it so that any fumes and stuff stay on that side of the wall of your car, just from your car running. But most likely we're not going to do that. I'm thinking about possibly building a carport where it's a gravel driveway on the other side, but we'll see. Like I said, we got to not only do that and then move all of our crap that's here. I'm probably going to leave a lot of the stuff that we had in the trailer that U-Haul gave us, unless they gave me another one. I mean, that was like $800 and some odd I didn't have to spend on that trailer. And the thing that's also going to hurt is gas is going to be about twice what it was in December.
Oh, dude. Depending on when you go, it's
Now, granted, it's not as far to drive, but it is all mountains. I mean, that's part of what makes driving between Cincinnati and here take more gas than when I drove out to Texas, is because when I drove across Indiana and Illinois, and there's, other than a little bit in Missouri, there ain't a hill for 2,000 miles.
So, question. This happened to us last Friday. So we're getting gas in the service truck where we was working, and a guy pulls up in a brand new car. It was a foreign car, and he said he lost his wallet, and he took a ring off his finger and says, "I will give you this gold ring if you fill up my gas tank." Would y'all have done it?
No, it's a scam.
Yeah, we didn't do it. We told him we didn't have no
fucking
cash.
Anytime any shit like that happens, it's been a scam for 20 years.
We said, I can give you $5 for gas, because I had a $5 bill. But the only thing that got me is the car, you could tell, was luxurious, and he was in a suit. But then I was like, well, maybe he's just renting a car or something. I didn't get to see the tags. But apparently the person 2 pumps over, he did it. I wouldn't have done it.
No, unless you can tell if that ring is real or fake.
Yeah, because they can forge a stamp in the ring.
Yeah, well, if you could tell that, okay, maybe it's a gold ring and it's worth $200, let's just say, right?
Yeah.
You could hawk it for $200, and you knew that. Okay, here's $40 worth of gas. But most likely it's just a piece of crap metal. Or if it's a real ring, most likely it's stolen, right? It's an easy way to get rid of it, because they can get rid of the ring. They could re-siphon the gas. There's things they could do.
But I was also thinking, why not go to a pawn place? He's in a city. We have like 4 pawn places.
Right. Probably because it's either stolen or fake.
Okay, but how far from that specific gas station?
If walking distance, probably about 4 minutes.
So maybe half a mile down the road.
Yeah, maybe not even that.
Yeah, that tells me it's fake or stolen.
But I mean, if you're from out of town, you wouldn't know that, Tommy, too. That's the other thing.
True.
Yeah, but.
And did he have a smartphone? I mean, maybe he was just strapped up because that pimp had to put a hole in line.
Yeah.
Bedroom style. But,
yeah, I've heard so many stories working 10 years down in Cincinnati that I'd be the same way. Hey, I'll give you $3 worth of gas, or
Yeah.
I had a guy.
$5 bill.
I had it out in the suburbs. I had a guy. He's like, "Oh, I just finished some job I need." It's like, "Okay, I'll give you $3." This was years ago, so it was almost 2 gallons. I said, "I can give you $3 if you really got." I said, because I looked at what he was driving. I said, 3 gallons ought to get you there easily that's where you're really going.
But you can usually tell by the people, unless you're a sucker. I mean, I don't know how many times there'll be people that come up asking for cash and say they needed gas. I'm like, where's your car?
Yeah.
I mean, there's been people sometimes where, they're actually like fucking hurting, and, I'm like, I'll throw a couple bucks in, but, I don't have any cash. And, thank you so much. And, let me get your information. I'll send you $3. And I was like, no, don't even worry about it. It's
me and
$3.
Seth were going to Comic-Con, and there was a meth head, and she said, "Can I use your phone to check my cash app?" And I told her, I was like, "No, I got a flip phone."
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, there was a guy downtown. I knew him and his wife's by name because they were well known. And he didn't know that. And
hold on, Brian. You should have told her to use her Obama phone because she got one for free.
Yeah.
I was going to say it, but you kept talking. So
not a meth head. They're usually as pale as I am. But he came and he was always dressed somewhat nicely. If you look carefully, you could tell that it was a suit that was old and didn't fit him. But he came up I was with somebody, we're just chatting, and this other guy didn't know him, and I used to run into him every once in a while, and he comes up and says, "Hey, gentlemen," starts giving her spiel, and I'm like, "Hey, Melvin, how are you? How's it going?" He's like, "Oh, I thought you was," it's like, basically he knew the gig was up because I knew who he was. He's like, I forget what he mumbled and just walked on. But yeah, I heard, I'm broke down. A church van broke down somewhere. I need $5 for gas, and it's like,
guess you better pray to Jesus.
Right. It's like, okay, where you broke down and where I am here is 6 miles. You did not walk down here. It's like, you better say you broke down on 15th Street or something. Not, one guy, I forget where he said, and it was way on I don't know if you ever look at a map of Cincinnati, but you have 275. But where he was saying he broke down was on the north side of 275, and I was, I'm downtown. We were on Court Street in Central Parkway, so that's 11th Street, I think, or 10th Street. But yeah, it's quicker to walk to the river than to where he was saying, and it was like, there's no way you walk that far.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I understand sometimes you will get someone who is, like one person, the most honest thing anyone ever asked me in the entire time I worked downtown was they asked if they can have $1 to get a beer. And I said, well, I don't have any money on me, which was true. I rarely carried cash. And because I took my lunch 99% of the time, so I didn't have a need to have any money. I said, but if I had some, I would give it to you, because that's the most honest thing anyone's ever said to me.
Oh, there's a guy in Roanoke. He holds up a sign. And he goes, "Hey, I need beer money."
Yeah, and I said, and I make beer, and if I had one, I'd give it to you. So. Yeah, one guy wanted for food, and I said, well, I don't have any money, but I got a granola bar. You want it? And I gave it to him, and I was driving away, and I could see my rearview mirror. He was staring at it like, how do I turn this into a Mad Dog 2020, Because he didn't know what to do with it. It's like, I called your bluff, and you're lying.
Tommy, one of the scams we used to get, because I used to work with a roofing company, was you'd have the people that were out there, will work for food or will work for money. We always fucking was like, all right, here you go. Come show up, be here, and you'll get it. Motherfuckers never showed up.
Yeah.
There's more scammers out there than there's not.
See, the guy that owned Cycle System, which is a recycling plant, there was a guy that asked him for money. We was on a job site. He goes, I'll give you a job. How about that? Nah, I got other stuff I got to do today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, every now and again they'll be an honest person, but generally, if you know how to read people, you're going to be able to fucking tell the difference. I believe your wife would probably be a better person reader than you because she deals with so many more than you do. But you got your fair share of people that you know how they are too, and you can just tell. And if your gut says no, I say always follow your gut. Because it's one thing if you're having issues, it doesn't matter the car, doesn't matter this or that. But if you're going to part with a fucking ring for, $20 in gas, there's generally, and like you said, because there is a pawn shop not that far, why would you not go? Although they probably only give them $20 for the ring too, because it's a pawn shop.
So I was curious, and I asked my wife, I was like, so can you tell how people act when they come to the bank if they got a lot of money in their account or not? She goes, to be honest, you can't. She goes, you can have some of the nicest people in the world and they have $1 in their account, or the nicest people in the world and they got $1 million in their account. And this says the exact opposite. You can have someone that's an asshole that has $1 in their account, or an asshole and they have $1 million in their account.
Yeah.
This money does not control their personality as much as people think.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. If all of a sudden you're butt ass broke and you're having to do a whole bunch of shit and you're busting your ass, you're going to have a little bit of an attitude, so it could be rubbed up. But again, that's a retail job. So it's, we all know how that is. Even being a banker, it's still retail. You still got to deal with assholes.
Oh yeah. I told her that's the one thing. When you mess with people's money and something happens, the mood can change from happy to asshole real quick.
I mean, I'm still pissed at the banks because Chase used to have a change counter machine. So you just give them your change, they'd put it in there, and it would instantly just deposit all your change into your account. And, of course, now the only count machines are those goddamn Coinstar things that want to charge you money for counting your money.
Yep.
So I just hand-rolled the stuff and took it in when I was butt-ass broke.
And they usually weigh it. When I've taken rolls into the bank, they weigh it. And I've never, I guess, it's I think maybe the most I ever had was $20, but I'm like, well, I could have put quarters on the ends and had blanks in between as long as it weighed right. But
yeah, I didn't have them weigh it. They looked at, but what I loved was the loose change. You just go in there with your loose change, they just dump it in there and count it out.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, man, that was beautiful. I haven't had to roll coins in at least 2 decades.
Yeah. That's been a while.
I was just sitting here doing it, though. I was like, well, I got all this damn change. I need to get rid of this shit. Because we used to have the empty water bottle, the 5 gallon, I think. And
probably
for the machines. Does that sound about right, Tommy?
Yeah.
About 5 gallon?
Yeah, 5 gallon.
For the machine. So we'd have one of those and we'd just throw our change in there and then we'd take it out and then go, when we go on go to the Indianapolis State Zoo or shit like that. That's what paid for it was our change.
There was a guy that used to own all the vending machines in this area. Well, he owned a decent. He didn't own all of them, but he owned a decent amount. Well, he had a lot of scrap in his yard, like cars and stuff, and called us to come get it. And he had something in the basement that he wanted us to carry out and scrap. So I was okay. We went down there. He had 6 bathtubs full of change. 6.
Yeah.
Good God.
And I was like, I couldn't imagine how much money that would be.
That couple tons, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they were full.
Well, especially these vending machines, so it's probably nickels, dimes, and quarters.
Yeah.
Maybe an occasional 50-cent piece. So there's no pennies in there.
Yeah, no pennies. It was all silver. And it looked 90% like quarters.
Yeah. Well, you can, or they have the golden dollar, too, right? Depending on when this was. That's about the size of a quarter. A little bit bigger.
Like, I know you couldn't carry them tubs out. They'd be way too heavy.
Oh, no.
So I'm like, what is he saving them for?
Because like Scrooge McDuck, he dives in them coins, yo.
Yeah. But the purpose, I would be like loading buckets up and taking it to the bank. Because that had to be thousands of dollars. Even though it's in change.
But nobody stole it, did they?
No one did steal it.
He's a millionaire, but it was all in change. There you go.
I don't know. I couldn't do it. I couldn't sit on it like that.
Well, I wouldn't want that much damn change, man. I hate having change now.
Well,
I
even
have
your
a jar.
5-gallon bucket, when that's full, that'd be a couple 100 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, just with water in it would be 40, 50 pounds.
Yep. I went to the Mexi Mart and I bought 25-gallon laundry detergent things. And it was only like $400 because they were $20 a piece.
Mm.
It's basically generic Tide, generic Gain, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I've got enough now that we'll go at least a year plus. And I don't got to worry about buying laundry detergent. And guess what? Laundry detergent doesn't expire.
Now,
It's soap.
like, I want to know if this is true that people used to bury money, or is that
Yeah.
just a wives' tale?
Well, yes, and you know, you have buried coins that they find from Roman times in England. So you have various reasons that people buried money. But you mean like to hide it from people, or do you mean as a votive offering to the gods? I mean, what do you?
It's Tommy. You're overthinking it, Lake.
I know.
Well,
Yes, people bury money for.
You got to keep it. Yeah, you got to keep it kiss. Keep it
No.
simple, stupid.
Well, if a buried treasure like a pirate, is that what we're going?
Like, you'll see in movies and stuff, someone like literally digging up their yard and find jars full of money.
Well, that's because that's movies again, Tommy. You know how it works in the real world. What did they buy, Tommy? They bought radar detectors.
Yeah.
That's the real world versus the Hollywood. So
Not radar, metal detector.
or metal detector. Yeah.
I would not be surprised if people really did that. Now, people do that in math. No.
I did know a guy that filled his mattress up with money.
I'll see that I don't understand.
Because they didn't trust the banks.
He didn't believe in banks.
Yeah. But
when I was 12, he was like 83.
Dude,
Yeah.
my ex-father-in-law, same thing. He didn't trust banks, so he got paid. He went and he pulled it all out, and he paid everything in cash.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, my mom's father, my grandfather, my maternal grandfather, he had this would have
Bendico
been
Bank. Only trust Bendico Bank.
Yeah, I probably would have been the early 70s because it's when they still lived in the house before they lived in a trailer. He had a neighbor of his that he knew that never looked like much, always wore coveralls and stuff. But apparently was saving his money. And one day he asked him he had a driver's license. I forget how, or he always had a beat up car, I guess. But one day he asked my grandfather to drive him to the Cadillac dealer, and he paid for a Cadillac in cash. He said he kept pulling out rolled up, $100 bills out of his coveralls to pay. And it was but that's what he wanted. He took him like 25 years to save up enough money to buy a Cadillac. And so he went to the bank to get the bills, but he kept it somewhere in his house. So, but I mean, I understand. And nowadays with electronics, you post the wrong thing. Look at what they did to people in Canada. Look what they're doing to the whole country of Russia. They're cutting off from the bank.
Like, how could you trust a bank after they did something like that in Canada?
You don't.
You never should have trusted them to begin with.
You had to take your chances or keep something in reserve. I don't know what I feel more comfortable about, having a bank account with X amount of dollars, let's say several $1,000s, or having that in a safe at home. I know people who have a mixture of stuff, right? They've got coins, they've got gold coins, not so much because the government will confiscate thanks to another Democrat president, FDR, another guy that should have been in jail, but he died in office. So I guess he got what was coming to him, but he's venerated.
Polio, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, he had polio that's what took him. But yeah, they do these criminal acts and they've been getting away with it for over 100 years. So, but yeah, I don't know which is worse, because people don't rob banks anymore, like Bonnie and Clyde type robbing. I mean, people do kind of, but not to the extent. But now you have people, essentially the bank's just stealing your money. It's going the other way around, right? The bank just says, no, your account's closed. We absorbed your cash because we don't like what you posted online. I mean, that's the thing. It's not, you didn't even commit a crime. I understand if you committed a crime, got arrested, went to court, got convicted, and as part of your sentencing, you lost, money that you obtained illegally. I get that, but you have people who have not committed a crime. They may have gone against a mandate, which is not a law. They may have gone against some, edict, which is not a law, at least in a supposed democratic run country. If these people were breaking the law and they were, burning the Capitol building and stringing up politicians, I get it. But they weren't doing that either, So, and when really pushed hard, they all left. But now you've got the Canadian government saying they're going to go against people who send them money and anybody who thought about sending them money. And you got thought in Germany, they're starting to arrest people for thought crimes. They're using AI to figure out, because on your activity, you're likely to post something online we don't like, and we're starting to arrest you. It's 1984, dude. It's a Minority Report. That's where
Thank you. Damn it. Thank you. I was about to say that fucking movie.
Yep.
Yes.
We're this close in some countries for that being China is the same way.
And eventually America will fall the same as the rest of them, guys.
So it'll all fall and we'll get a better Great Reset, and out of the ashes a new phoenix will rise, and our great grandkids will have a freer society. I don't know, but
don't you know that the Earth is an egg? It's going to crack open because there's what the fuck was that shit called for the last King Kong movie? Godzilla vs. Kong.
I didn't see that one, but there was an episode. There was a thing with Doctor Who. I think it was with David Tennant, where there was it a big spider or something that laid eggs in the Earth's core, and they were hatching out. And it was there from
some weird sci-fi ending. I'd be all right.
Yeah, it was one of these where it laid it during the creation, the magical collision of rocks that somehow stuck together instead of exploding. But so, yeah, it I don't know. I think it's best to have a mixture, not to be so paranoid one way or the other, not to be, have a full reliance on the system, nor be, out. Well, if you want to be out in the cabin in the woods by yourself, that's fine. Just don't be a Ted Kaczynski about it.
Right. Well, hey, look at it this way, right? Whatever dollar bills you have after it fails, you've got toilet paper.
Yeah.
So you get to pretend you're like Washington, D.C. and wiping your ass.
And you might actually have an heirloom to pass on if you have kids who have kids, because it's possible that at some point in the future, those will be valuable commodities. They'll be collectibles because there won't be a lot, and it'll be from a country that doesn't exist anymore, or something that doesn't exist anymore.
So do you think we'll go full digital money in the future?
Well, that's what the banks are pushing.
Yeah,
because they can turn you off like that.
That's what the government. That's what we've been saying, Tommy. That's what the banks are
talking about, like Bitcoin and stuff.
Yeah, well, the big banks have their own versions of crypto, but that's part of the great reset that they're trying to push. Granted, the infamous "they" is things like that. Now, the pushback is things like, well, Bitcoin they can still figure out, but there's some other cryptos where it's decentralized, and you don't necessarily know who's doing what on, which is what, again, the busybodies don't like, because they can't spy on people. And it's like, look, you have to have this, in my view, a very wackadoodle mindset that says everyone's guilty of something until I just got to catch them. I'm too busy living my life to worry about if you're not coming in through my window. I'm too busy to worry about what the heck you're doing, right? Unless you are affecting me directly, I don't care. You want to go do drugs and not bother me about it? Go at it. I don't care.
Yeah, again, that makes you happy and leave me alone.
Narco-capitalist, right? Look, if I'm not hurting you and you're not hurting me, you're not pissing in my pool.
That's actually gotten really popular, though.
Yeah, it's the extreme idea of real capitalism and self-determination, right?
Yeah.
You live your life, I live my life. If we want to trade, awesome. If we decide I don't have anything that you want and you don't have anything I want, we don't trade. And that's the end of it. I don't go over to your house and beat you over the head with a rock and take your stuff. That's the baloney part. right? That's the boundary.
See, Leif's figured it out. He knows currency and everything's gonna fall. So that's why he learned to make beer, because he knows he can sell the beer. Or
I learned to make beer because I couldn't afford it.
Penny pinching Drew.
Back when I started, I kept saying, people say, "Oh, you got to try it." And I tried the commercial stuff, and it was horrible. And then when I tried early craft beers, still expensive in many ways, I went, "This is great, but I can't afford it." But what was going to cost me back then, it was Sam Adams. I didn't like the lager. I liked some of the stouts and stuff. I think it was $7 a 6-pack, something like that, back in the 90s. $6, I don't know. But for $30, I could make 5 gallons worth. I could get 52 bottles. So that was a better. Now I exchanged time, right? Which I had plenty of. Now I don't have as much time, but I still have more time than I have money. So I'm still willing to get some stuff, spend 8-9 hours making stuff, because the all grain takes longer, but it's also cheaper, right? The extract, when I finally switched to all grain, extract was costing me $50 to $60 a batch. So then it went down to more like $30, $40. Depends on what yeasts I use. The yeast can get kind of expensive. But the base malt's like $1.40 a pound. And, some batches I use 12 pounds and other batches I use 20.
So it was probably 2 or 3 years ago. I tried a beer from the actual brewery where they had like a little restaurant on the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
It tasted absolutely amazing. Getting it straight from the brewery.
Yep. Well, and a lot of it depends on.
See, I bought it at the store afterwards. Like, I bought a 6-pack, and I went home excited to drink it, and it tasted nothing like what was actually.
Yeah, it depends on what they're doing in the. Now, some breweries like Stone, actually, I saw on their Twitter feed, they got some new tanks here in Richmond, and I looked on the map. It's not in the badish part of downtown. It's kind of on the outskirts. I may actually go visit. But like most downtowns, most downtowns are a nightmare to go visit. But if they're clean, you got to pay a lot of money to park, and if they're cheap to park, you're going to get mugged. So, well, there's a high probability, but a lot of that depends on. Sometimes they use different recipes. They use variants depending on how they're going to condition it and bottle it. But okay, he's out, and I got to go soon too. But quite often, it's how it's aged. So if they do a cask or a natural conditioning in the brewery, because it's a smaller batch than in the bottling, then it's going to taste different. Usually on draft, it's better, especially if it's cask conditioned, which is my beer is bottle conditioned. So if you can still get many craft breweries will do bottle conditioning as well, and so you'll get a little yeast sediment in the bottom. But what typically happens is they filter the beer to get the yeast out of it. They put it in what's called a bright tank, and then they carbonate it artificially, and so then they bottle it, and so that doesn't taste the same.
Yeah.
And now sometimes it isn't, like Guinness, for instance, they use 15 different recipes depending on which version you're getting, how it's bottled, how it's conditioned, whether it's a nitrogen injection. So, but yeah, I'm the same way, man. I've had done it like, man, this is awesome. I'm going to get a 6-pack. And then I'm like, oh, this is good, but it's nothing like what I had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it's because, which I know glass is supposed to be what you're actually supposed to drink out of compared to aluminum and plastic.
Yeah. And some of the craft beer that's in cans, some of it's lined, those cans are lined. But yeah, I'm still, I remember when craft brewers used to make fun of commercial brewers for putting their stuff in cans, and now they're all doing it.
Yeah.
So there's a part of me that's like, I like it because it's a heck of a lot cheaper in the cans for the same amount of beer, quite often. But I'm still, especially the high gravity. I mean, I've had double and triple IPAs out of a can, and I'm like, there's just something here that shouldn't be, that I can't.
See, I'm weird. I can taste, like, if my food gets into where they put it, like if you go to K&W, you get it in a box. I
Right.
can taste the box.
Yeah. My brother can taste, he can taste the like soda or something. He can taste that out of an aluminum can. You can pour out of a bottle, or say even just a plastic bottle, but like, you know, or out of a can, and he can tell you which is which.
Yeah.
I can't, but what I taste something that's different, but I can't say it's the aluminum. So he swears
that's like me. I hate eating with a plastic spoon because I can taste the plastic in the spoon.
Mm. Yeah, me, I don't care. But anyway, now I got the dogs again.
I'm weird.
Well, dude, it's almost 11:30. We want to wrap this up. We're going for 2.5 hours.
I was gonna pull it about half hour, 45 minutes ago.
Probably
I just kept on going.
I opened my mouth. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. No coffee and gaming tomorrow.
I do have a quick question when we're done. So,
bye.
Bye.